now. Enjoy the show, severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow. Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal. Grab your flashlight, it's time to go down the rabbit hole. It's dark and hell is hot, dealing with satanic souls. The tide is turning, patriots are now in control. Apply aggressive pressure right now until they fold. Stay woke, open up your eyes and keep them peeled. All they do is lie, realize not everything is real. Through Project Looking Glass, the future is revealed. Future proves past, but there won't be any deals. No time like the present for this music with the messages. The method to my madness, beat the madness to my method. Give you nothing but the truth now to capture your attention. Broke free from the matrix, master the dimensions. People swear they know the truth, but aren't asking any questions. Confirmation bias, so they pass on interventions. For those who know the truth, but they pass it just to mention. If anything you might say, the passes their defenses. Wake up, and don't you dare go back to sleep. Always keep one eye open for demons on the creep. Once you turn into a wolf, you won't ever be a sheep. A worldwide awakening, so now run and tell your peace. Wolf Society's fam, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow. Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal.
Like fries for that? Would you like fries for that? Would you like fries for that?
All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Scott here from Woke Societies. It's episode number 1003. It is November 25th, 2025. Welcome to all of our friends over on Rumble, Kick, X, YouTube, and of course, my favorite fam over on the interwebs on pilled.net. You guys are fantastic. Welcome in, guys. Welcome to the show. On fire as usual. Looks like the buffering figured itself out. Hopefully that'll be the case for the rest of the show. Thank you all so much for the Gold Pill love as per usual. Donnie again, thanks for that fleet. Scott17 with a cookie. Core Cousin with a cookie. Halo Moon with a can. And 0-2-0 with the shades. Leo Sator says, I think the buffering is when you get lots of comments. Let the mats know. I don't. Thank you, Leo Sator. It's not. It has nothing to do with the comments. It's there was something going on with Restream connecting with our servers. So it looks like it's still being panned out there. But either way, we're going to keep pressing through no matter what. And if it buffers, guys, just refresh. It'll get back up. Thank you, guys. We're at 4,817. 20K is that daily goal. Smash that red pill. Repost the show. We got a lot to get into, guys. We're going to get into the Seditious 6 first. And then we get into James Comey. Everything pertaining to these executive orders with Mission Genesis, which is huge, the Muslim Brotherhood, and the peace deal that is seemingly getting closer from what we can tell between Russia and Ukraine. And if you guys hang out long enough, we're going to be talking about the PSYOP group that is America only related to Candace Owens. And I'm telling you guys, I can see right through this. Whether it pisses people off or not, we'll talk about at the very end. But either way, thank you guys so much. All right. Family, so it was crazy, like I told you. So yesterday, like I was losing my mind because I had to go drive to New York, go get a new debit card because I had stupid fraud on it from Canada, pissed me off, and so I was triggered by that. I had to take about 3 hours out of my day just to drive back and forth to New York, and just to get a debit card. And I'm seeing these clowns. It's Mark Kelley and the other one from the CIA talking about what they did as far as what they said about the Democrats and the military and issuing their statement about soldiers, you need to disobey orders if they're unlawful. And I'm watching these people continue to talk. I'm watching them continue to spout off their bullshit, right? And I'm in my car and I'm yelling like, what the fuck, Trump? Like, when are these people going to get the hammer, right? When are they going to get the hammer? Because the fact that these people are still allowed that these people are still allowed to be even saying anything at this point And not being locked up drives me insane because I'm seeing all these politicians, right? All these people not suffer accountability, right? And I keep telling myself, just hold off. Just wait. Hopefully it's coming, right? And now it looks like they're actually being investigated now. And I know everyone loves the big I word, the big investigation word. Everyone kind of rolls their eyes. But this is where it's going right now because it's Mark Kelley and the 5 of the retards that decide to do this. And there absolutely needs to be consequence because if there's not, I don't know how else you can keep carrying out with these people that can just say these things and there's zero consequences. So the FBI is now scheduling those interviews with 6 lawmakers who encourage military members to refuse illegal orders. And this absolutely needed to be done. And this is the thing. P. Hegseth is putting out, this was like 10 hours ago. So this was earlier today. And he said this. So Captain Kelley, not only did your sedition video intentionally undercut good order and discipline, but you can't even display your uniform correctly. Your medals are out of order and rows reversed. When/if you were recalled to active duty, it'll start with the uniform inspection. And guys, I'll be honest, I don't know anything about military uniform, military attire. If I was looking at this, I wouldn't know if it needed to be fixed, if it was on correctly, incorrectly. And apparently this guy is such a scumbag. And I'm pretty sure, guys, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, did Mark Kelley have something to do with, not stolen valor? He can't have stolen valor if he was a vet. But he had a very suspect military career, right? And the fact that this is being called out and shown, PXF is not playing around here. And you would have to expect, like, military people, again, if you can chime in on this, any veterans that maybe can tell me, is this super sloppy work? Is this not what it's supposed to look like? Are these things not in place where they need to be? Because I don't know what I'm looking at. Hegseth is saying it's horrible, so I'm assuming it's absolutely, it's trashing the uniform. If anyone that was prior military, please tell me. Please tell me that this is absolutely disgusting. Because I would have to imagine if a vet was looking at this and this is legitimate, which I think it is, you're probably going to have the same reaction as this.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I have to imagine, right? And everyone in the chat that I can see right now is saying that placement is regulated in military. It's not in order. Those bars are wrong 100%. And you do get your uniform inspected. So it looks like you guys are all saying the same thing that Pete Hegseth is saying. And I'm just like, why would this clown put any of this stuff out there like we're watching now? And just put it out there because does he care? Do these people care? Do they give a shit about any of this stuff? Because it certainly doesn't look like it is. And that's all fine and dandy, but now where we want to see this go is, can we get some accountability for this, right? PXZ said the video made by the Seditious 6 was despicable, reckless, and false. Encouraging our warriors to ignore the orders of their commanders undermines every aspect of good order and discipline. Their foolish screed I want to call them cows. Their foolish screed sows doubt and confusion, which only puts our warriors in danger. 5 of the 6 individuals in that video do not fall under Department of War jurisdiction. 1 is CIA, and 4 are former military, but not retired, so they are no longer subject to UCMJ. However, Mark Kelley, retired Navy commander, is still subject to UCMJ, and he knows that. As was announced, the department is reviewing his statements and actions which were addressed directly to all troops while explicitly using his rank and service affiliation. Lending the appearance of authority to his words, Kelley's conduct brings discredit upon the armed forces and will be addressed appropriately. So, all indicators are saying, guys, that this is going to be investigated. This is going to be looked at. This post alone was posted yesterday, got 6.1 million views, and again, this is going in lockstep with what Trump has been calling as well. And as far as the opposition's concerned, the other Democrats that are in uniform, they are spouting out off at the mouth as well. And I just really want this to hit hard. The Democrats who served in the military and support sedition against Trump are now saying Secretary of War PX's Pentagon better be prepared to recall all of us if they recall Mark Kelley for a court-martial. And you're getting this from people like Elaine Luria. If they want to recall Senator Mark Kelley, they better be prepared to recall all of us. And, you know, when I hear stuff like this, I'm just like, man, oh man, I hope that's taken action on this. I really, really do. I would love to see all these guys rounded up Saudi Arabia style, just completely taken out and just locked up and just put away. We do not need this shit in the military. We do not need this shit in our country. There was no illegal order put out. We know exactly what these people are doing. Former and current CIA agents as well that are based are saying the same exact thing. You can't go and say these things because we can see right through. We know exactly what you're doing. And these Democrats that are coming out in defense of Mark Kelley are the ones like this. Ruben Gallego. Fuck you and your investigation.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
That's what you're getting out of Ruben Gallego. And I believe he went on CNN and he had some words to say about what this investigation means to him.
Into Senator Kelley. What is your level of trust in the U.S. military justice system, if it were to get that far, to handle this?
I trust them actually a lot, and for a couple of reasons. Number one, these are professionals. They are also swearing to the Constitution of the United States. They know that there will be fallout and consequences if they are used in a hard way to basically railroad someone like Senator Kelley, because Donald Trump's going to be gone a couple years. And if you're part of the military that is going after sitting senators, sitting members of Congress, and part of, the weaponization of government, there will be consequences, without a doubt. So, I think there's going to be a lot of...
there's going to be consequences. Okay.
...of officers that are going to be part of this, potential tribunal, if they want to call it that. They're going to be looking over their shoulders because they know that Donald Trump will be gone and they will not have that protection. They're going to have to do the safest thing possible, which is follow the Constitution of the United States, and you'll be fine.
Follow the Constitution of the United States, and you'll be fine.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
These people will go at no length, guys, to undermine this president and undermine this country. And this is the type of shit that needs to be taken care of ASAP. It needs to happen. And of course, there's no shame in these people. These people are the most disgusting cretins on the planet. As now, Mark Kelley is fundraising off his calls for sedition by the military against President Trump and the Department of War investigation into a sedition. And if Trump is trying to intimidate me from doing my job, it won't work.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
And with that, it says, quote, I need you to chip in. Disgusting, Mark. Apologize for trying to ruin the troops' lives. If any of them did what you suggested, they'd be screwed. And this was the donation email and messaging going out to any of his supporters. Any of them. Saying you need to chip in, donate money to fight against Trump because I swore no to the Constitution. And I know I have some veterans in the chats. I mean, I have to imagine this shit pisses you off. And this is the thing, like, the military cannot be political, right? Whatsoever. If the military is political, then you don't have a military. You just basically have a domestic force that will carry out the rule of whoever's leading them and whatever their ideology is. That's not a military. That is super dangerous and where shit can really hit the fan. And this is now being, quote, investigated, which I hope it's going to lead to something. But if they end up getting this guy court-martialed, oh man, is that going to send a fucking message not to do any of that shit ever again? We're going to find out. Because the media has their backs, of course. And the media is just parroting the same bullshit that we've heard all along about this Trump putting out illegal orders, and supposedly these illegal orders went down, and Joe here from Morning Joe putting it out there that that's exactly what Trump did. Let's break this down.
Okay, wrong answer.
Well,
I'm sorry, with all due respect, wrong answer. President of the United States, the commander-in-chief does have, Jonathan Lemire, wide latitude. Just does. And the Senate can take that up, but he has wide latitude on strikes. Ask Barack Obama and drone strikes. Ask George W. Bush and drone strikes. But where we know the president has said, I am going to give illegal orders to people in the military, is when he was on Air Force One, coming back, I forget where he was coming back from, but he said, I can send the Marines, I can send the Army, I can send the Air Force, I can send the Coast Guard into any city I want to control crime. And the courts can't do anything about it. That's illegal. It's just illegal. And so...
If it's illegal, then why does Trump have these people out in these states, retard?
Democrats kind of need to... If the president has already said, I'm going to commit this illegal act... then I'm kind of surprised they don't have the answer when they go on a Sunday show for that.
So again, this is the propaganda that is seeping through the lefties' minds right now. And of course, this is all going to seep into some minds in the military that are low IQ that probably that suck this shit up. And I hope to God none of them actually carry out and just disobey command, because it's not the politicians' lives that are going to get ruined. It's their lives that are going to get ruined. No retirement. They could, I don't even know. Could they? Fam, you tell me in the military, if you disobey orders, if you end up disobeying orders, what will happen to that soldier? Can they spend time in military prison? It's probably depending on the charge, but I would assume that can carry some hefty charges and land you in a really bad spot. And like I said, your life being over. That's what I would have to assume here. The media is pushing this. The Dems are pushing this. And this is why there needs to be consequences coming hard, because I don't know how else you can let this get away. And this is why I've been saying, and guys, I've just been blatantly honest and blatantly straightforward on all my recent posts, on my social media, all of it. And I've been saying, listen, I love Trump's truths. I love his memes. I love the way he trolls. I love it all. At a certain point, if action is not taken, these Truth Social posts, the bite is not gonna happen here. All right, hold on, guys. 1 second. There has to be consequences, because of like I've been saying, and I said it the other day on my, I think it was Telegram, and it might have been just Telegram. The truth socials of accountability posts need to actually manifest soon, because people are going to roll their eyes, and it's not going to have the same bite that they normally do. And I'm hoping when this happens, when this investigation happens, it might happen like something like this.
Is this a fucking jelly donut? Holy Jesus! Is this a fucking jelly donut?
That is what I'm hoping is going to happen when these retards walk in. We're going to find out, and I'm hoping it's going to happen fast and quick. Thank you to Leo Sator for the cookie. I think the buffering... Oh, yeah, got that, my friend. Thank you. Karen Hare says, absolutely love the hat. It's my favorite hat. Thank you, Karen Hare. Just fed up with a cookie. Condition basis. Please tell me you saw the Cash interview with Catherine Herridge. If not, here's the link. Yeah, condition base. I did see it. I was contemplating putting that in today's show. And honestly, after watching it, I'm just be honest, guys, I'm not that impressed. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because what do I miss? And I can't blame him for this. I miss the podcast, Kash Patel. I miss the Kash Patel when he wasn't director. The thing is, when you get into a job like he has, everything, not everything, but a lot of it's like PR curated. He has to be extremely careful with what he says. And, it was an okay interview. It was an okay interview. There wasn't really anything really crazy that came out of that besides the burn bag thing I saw, and the fact that they know who left the burn bags. And he said, Catherine asked him, like, okay, what was the motivation of the people or person that left behind the burn bags against all these deep state actors? And he said, still currently under investigation. We want to get it out. And again, I don't know if like this is going to be kind of the same old bullshit where it just get brushed off with ongoing investigations. You never hear anything again. Again, do I trust Kash Patel still? I do. But I don't think people are going to get what they would hope for in interviews with Kash right now, or Bongino. I don't see it. And I don't think they're being deceitful. I'm just thinking there's so many other interests that they have to protect. And it just is what it is. That's just my take on the interview, though. But it wasn't a terrible interview. Thank you, Condition says. Andy B2 says, but Munch Kelly is so stupid. I remember the training on lawful and unlawful orders from training I got 44 years ago. Why did he feel the need to remind the current active guard military? That's the thing, dude. That's the thing. There is no illegal action, and they're going to have to answer for that now. And I hope they don't sneak out from under it. P-Quest with a cookie. Tennessee Girl said, sent you this Georgia Center 2 years ago. My staffer and I exposed a hidden room inside Atlanta airport. It was packed with illegal immigrants and guarded by active duty U.S. military. Would that be complying with unlawful orders? That's the thing. I would say yes, but I'm not a lawyer. But if you're being told that you have to protect criminals, that's a really, to me, that shouldn't be a gray line. But if your superior officer gives you command to protect illegals or criminal aliens, there's probably a case to be made that yeah, that was an unlawful order. But again, I don't know how that works. I don't know how that would work. The floor is yours. Says no homo, bro, but you look like you definitely been working out. Shout out to you. With all the stress you got going on, you're still able to keep together. I'm doing my best, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Dig One says, I'm currently wearing a very, very similar hat. I bought it 20 years ago when I lived in Berlin. East Berlin was my favorite then. Absolutely, dude. These are the best winter hats. These are the best winter hats. And, you know, I've had people call me Elmer Fudd, which I thought was pretty funny. But they're absolutely, they're amazing. So, Ranger says it's 100% part of a CIA destabilization program. Yeah, that's the thing, dude. Like, is having our people, the Trump's picks in there, like not making a difference, or is it making a difference? Is John Ratcliffe just letting all this stuff go on? Is this rogue agents like the FBI? Because obviously, not every single person in these government outlets are reined in, obviously. So is that what we're competing with? Is Ratcliffe aware of this stuff? Is Cash aware of this stuff? You have to assume probably yes, but I don't have all the answers, fam. I don't have all the answers. We just talk about this stuff on a daily basis. So what I want to get into now, guys, is this, okay? And I tried telling everybody, like, listen, if we see the Comey case get tossed, nobody here was going to get rug pulled. Nobody, right? We discussed at length the issues that was going on with this case, and we knew that the judge was a Clinton-appointed judge, and there was some errors also on the prosecution, and it got tossed technically today, okay? Now before, and I'm not talking about this audience, but people were freaking the fuck out online over this, as if this was over, as if there's nothing else we can do, and that's absolutely not the case, because what the influencers and retards are pushing out there with this Comey case was that the case wasn't dismissed on the merits of the case or what he did and the crimes he committed. It was all procedural bullshit. And what that procedural bullshit is going to leave the door open to re-prosecute, and it's going to depend on if and when and who that is going to be. And I can tell you right now, the moment that this came out, Pam Bondi was like, yo, we're going to be appealing this immediately. So I just want people to understand, this is why I try to give you guys as objective, honest coverage of all this stuff outside the influencer magosphere that's mostly filled with retards at this point, because none of those people actually read the documents or took time to read through the court documents or looked at Just Human or anyone else you follow that breaks down these documents to give you the honest take of what's going on, and they just want to rage bait. But yes, technically, as of right now, the judge tossed James Comey and Letitia James' indictment. So let's get into it. Federal judges tossed the DOJ's case against former FBI Director James Comey. Judge Cameron McGowan Curry dismissed the case without prejudice, saying that Lindsay Halligan's appointment as interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia was invalid. Curry also dismissed the indictment against New York Attorney General Letitia James. So, fam, they are doing the same thing of what we were calling out Jack Smith over. The same thing. This is what they were basing it on. And unfortunately, she wasn't approved by the Senate, so they're tossing it out on this. But that does not mean that the case is over. It's going to make the case harder to convict, but it's not over. And they also can appeal. Curry wrote, I agree with Mr. Comey that the Attorney General's attempt to install Ms. Halligan as interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia was invalid. And because Ms. Halligan had no lawful authority to present the indictment, I will grant Mr. Comey's motion and dismiss the indictment without prejudice. Curry made a similar ruling in the Letitia James case. James has been charged with bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution, while Comey had been charged with making false statements to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding. Curry wrote that all actions flowing from Ms. Halligan's effective appointment, including securing and signing the indictments against Comey and James, were unlawful exercise of executive power and are hereby set aside. The case is being tossed without prejudice, leave open the possibility that the case could be brought against Comey and James again for the same conduct. So this is what I want people to look at here. Okay? if we're going to be objective, we're going to be non-emotional, we were calling this out when Joe Biden was in town. We were saying it, Merrick Garland, Jack Smith did not go through the procedural process, and this guy can't even bring anything against anyone. Fam, that's what they brought up here, and that's true. That is true. Is it annoying as fuck? Why would the prosecution go through with this? I'm not sure. But the thing is, this is what the judge decided. This is what she's tossing. But again, it's without prejudice and leaves the door open to go after them again, which obviously they're going to. You think Trump's just going to let this one go? You think he's just going to let James Comey walk without having to fight for it a little bit? Of course he's not. Of course he's not. Trump has nothing to do with this. He can't have anything to do with it. Pam Bondi certainly can. I can tell you right now, if any of these little mistakes or procedural things happen again, then Pam Bondi's going to be getting a fucking earful. But now we're going to have round 2. And they're going to get a second shot at this. And again, what I want people to remember, a grand jury brought this indictment, guys, which tells you that there was enough for a grand jury there to get this guy convicted, possibly. It was not based on the evidence. It was based on procedural bullshit. That's what this is about. And James Comey, of course, is going to take a victory lap with this. And of course, the media is going to chime in and love this as well. Take a watch.
And she's not Senate confirmed.
Lindsay Halligan is an excellent U.S. attorney, and shame on them for not wanting her in office.
Now, this means that James Comey, charged with lying before Congress, and Letitia James, charged with bank fraud allegations related to a property sale she owns in Virginia, walk for now.
Mattered to me personally, obviously, but it matters most because a message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies.
Attorney General Bondi met with members of law enforcement in Memphis yesterday to tout dropping crime rates. I asked her, though, about Comey's statement you just heard. Here she is.
I'm going to keep going on this. I'm not worried about someone who has been charged with a very serious crime. His alleged actions were a betrayal of public trust.
New York AG Letitia James says she remains fearless in the face of, quote, these baseless charges. The rule says unless you're Senate confirmed, you can only serve for 120 days. And there was a prior U.S. attorney in that position before Lindsay Halligan. So the 120-day period is up because nobody was Senate confirmed and has not been yet in that position. Back to you.
All right, David spun on that for us. David, thank you.
So that's where this ends up landing here. And I want to show you guys the full readout here from James Comey, because, again, they're going to go with an narrative that Trump's a tyrant. He's going after his political enemies, and he's going to take this as his victory and throw it around, show it off as if he was right about all this, not talk about any of the case, of course, because, of course, he's not. He doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go to a prison or jail for this. But he's out there putting this out. And what I've been hearing on both sides that she was put in correctly. She wasn't put in correctly. She hasn't been approved, guys. That's all I know. Jack Smith wasn't approved either, and neither was Halligan. And to go through the legal, nuances of ins and outs of all this shit, I don't know if it's going to really help, because at this point, the judge ruled on it, whether it's right or wrong. That's what happened, and they're going to have to go for a second shot. But as far as James Comey is concerned, yeah, he had a victory lap here, and this is what he had to say outside the one clip we just watched.
Grateful that the court ended a case against me, which was a prosecution based on malevolence and incompetence, and a reflection of what the Department of Justice has become under Donald Trump, which is heartbreaking. But I was also inspired by the example of the career people who refused to be part of this travesty. It cost some of them their jobs, which is painful, but it preserved their integrity, which is beyond price. And I know they will serve again. This case mattered to me personally, obviously, but it matters most because a message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies. I don't care what your politics are, you have to see that as fundamentally un-American and a threat to the rule of law that keeps all of us free. I know that Donald Trump will probably come after me again, and my attitude is going to be the same. I'm innocent, I am not afraid, and I believe in an independent federal judiciary. the gift from our founders that protects us from a would-be tyrant. When I was a kid, my parents would wake us up for school every morning by snapping open the shades and saying, "Time to rise and shine and show the world what you're made of."
Remember, this is a full-grown man that goes to Taylor Swift concerts, okay?
Well, it's that time, America. It's time to stand up and show the fools who would frighten us, who would divide us, that we're made of stronger stuff, that we believe in the rule of law, that we believe in the importance of doing things by the law. So stand tall, shine, and keep the faith.
So fucking gay, guys. So gay. Like, beyond gay. This guy was a former FBI director. And again, we know he's a treasonous bastard, guys. We understand that. And people do not underestimate him. He's highly sophisticated. He is very smart. Outside the seashell bullshit, he knows law. And he's got some powerful friends as well. And I know, did the Biden DOJ or these other judges give a shit if that Jack Smith wasn't appointed? No, they didn't. They didn't. But the thing is, guys, when we go through this on our side, it has to be locked tight. There can be no holes because these activist judges will poke holes in it and throw things out on procedural bullshit. It is bullshit, but guess what? That's the legal world. Unfortunately, that's the world that we live in, whether it's fair or not. That's the reality of the situation. These judges, and as we've seen from the get-go, right from the get-go of Trump's second term here, the biggest problem that we had right out of the gate was what? These liberal activist judges, and they're not even judges. We talked about how they can get impeached. It's an entire process. It would take forever to get rid of them all. That's the way they need to go. But you see how much of a cancer these people are to this country and what they're doing. They absolutely are. Absolutely are. Kevin says there's nothing gay about that. That was simply sad. Well, I'll just say, Kevin, if you're a man going to Taylor Swift concerts, I'm going to question your sexuality. That's where this is going. And it's just the whole thing. His body type always skeeved me out when I used to see him in the Q post. Like, they used to call him String Bean Comey or String Bean. Man, oh man, in the crops, in the corn crops, creepy as fuck, man. Creepy as fuck. And I will say this, Julia Kelly makes a good point here. She said it took Judge Cannon 5 months to determine Jack Smith's appointment was unconstitutional. Motion to dismiss filed February of 2024. Order to dismiss filed July of 2024. Following extensive filings and a hearing, this joke of an order came down in a month. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. The optics, again, will piss off law-abiding MAGA citizens. No doubt about it. They've been following this stuff every single day. It's infuriating. And I'm right there with you guys. I get it. But guess what, fam? We're not going to get a handout win from any of these people. This is why things have to be so locked tight, no matter what it is, because you don't want to take months or years to go through an investigation. One chance to hit a home run and some procedural shit like this derails the entire thing, and it'll demoralize everybody. That's what will end up happening. And to look at this judge a little bit more, this was a Clinton judge, made the decision that has never been made before in modern criminal history to save the disgraced former FBI director and the disgraced Attorney General of New York. The idea that these cases had to be thrown out because the prosecutor was improperly appointed is nonsense. Interim U.S. attorneys are appointed this way all the time across Republican and Democratic admins, and courts have consistently upheld their authority under the de facto officer doctrine. Even if someone's paperwork isn't perfect, their official acts remain valid. That's why no other indictments Halligan touched were tossed. The judge ignored a century of precedent, bypassed the normal standard, and used the most technical, least substantive loophole possible. Because ruling on the actual evidence would have been far more damaging to Comey and Letitia James. If the prosecutor truly lacked authority, then all her cases should collapse. They didn't. Only these two did. That tells you everything. And this is why, guys, I think this may be a saving grace. I know this shit is infuriating. This judge used a legal loophole to get around this and crushed all precedent to do it. This is a lesson I'm hoping for Bondi and all future cases that are ongoing right now. It needs to be perfect. Paperwork needs to be perfect. Appointees need to be perfect, or you're going to deal with this again. And it's going to be outrage all over the place. and probably even maybe even getting you fired. Lesson learned, because Comey is not off the hook yet, guys. So, yes, it's infuriating, but this is just a battle. This is not the war. Okay? What makes the ruling even more outrageous is that the judge didn't dispute a single piece of the evidence. That's important. Not Comey's admitted memo leaks, not the IG's criminal referral, not the documented contradiction in James' filing. She didn't touch the facts because the facts were solid. Instead, she sidestepped them entirely to declare that the prosecutor's internal DOJ appointment wasn't tidy enough. That's not justice. That's a judicial escape hatch designed to protect two powerful political actors without having to publicly address what they actually did. No citizen in America would get their charges wiped out over paperwork technicality, but for Comey and Letitia James, suddenly the rules change. What is the remedy for this elected Republicans? We already went over the remedy. The remedy is AIDS. It's a long, drawn-out process that has to go through the Senate, and you would never get to do it in time, guys. This is why so much of our system and the revelation of our system needs to be seen by so many in the public, guys, in this country. It's broken. It's absolutely fucking broken. You know, I don't have all the answers here, guys. You know, I would love to impeach these judges, but you have to, the legal process to do that is tedious and it's long, and that's exactly what these evil people want. Bam, it is truly a formidable iron castle that we are trying to destroy. Okay? It's just the way it is. But was anyone talking about this stuff before Trump, really? I don't remember anyone really talking about this stuff. Not as much as they are now. Not as many as people have engaged now. This is where it's going. What we're talking about now, we're fully aware of it. It's insane. Fam, let's get into these gold pills. We need to talk about this story, because Donald Trump made a pivot here on election fraud, and I need to cover this thread here by someone who I'm not a fan of whatsoever. But I want to talk about it because the accusations are pretty substantial, and I want to talk about it. We're going to discuss it, and we'll carry on here. Thank you. The floor is yours. Thank you, my friend. ZZ with a ship. Happy Thanksgiving, my brother. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. Donnie also with a ship says, what's disgusting is that Minnesota judge who overruled the jury's guilty verdict for those Somalis who frauded government for over $7 million. It's corruption everywhere, my friend. It's hard to watch. Condition Base says any soldier would be in violation of UCMJ, but the citizens and politicians are in violation of 18 USC 2387 is a federal law that makes it a crime to intentionally interfere with the loyalty, morale, or discipline of the U.S. military. Thank you, my friend. That was the stuff I was looking for. Floor is yours. As Comey is being set up so pricelessly by Trump, the more he runs his mouth, the boy is digging his hole. After the midterms, he will win the House, and the Senate will be crying for mercy from MAGA. I hope so, my friend. I hope so. And Ryder, thank you for the can. And everyone over on YouTube, please continue to smash that like button. We have 71 people in here. Smash the like button. We're going to stay up there for a little bit longer, guys, so we can get as many people over to pill.net. I'm testing some different things out today. So if you guys want to join the show, truly uncensored free speech, a way better chat, and you can help support the show monetarily, it's all on Pilled. It's free, and not a single one of your dollars sent on this platform goes to big tech. It goes to all people that share the same values here in this country that you do. So I appreciate that. Smash the like button, fam. Thank you all so much, and keep that chat rolling. This is a crazy thread, guys. And I'm always going to be upfront and honest with you guys. You guys know that. This is what I'm very cautious with showing this, but we're going to. Emma Robinson, by the way, blocked me a long time ago. I'm not a fan of hers at all. She's part of the Michael Lindell crowd, which kind of fizzled out. And also Patrick Byrne, the whole entire 2020 Steele bullshit ring of people that went nowhere and just turned into a complete shit show. I would normally never read something from Emma Robinson. I think she's a shill. And personally, from everyone that I know that knew her and worked with her, she's a cunt on top of it. And the thing is, she put out this thread about basically this election interference in 2024 and how you have Smartmatic and Dominion machines in Venezuela and Siberia and other countries that went offline due to supposedly a former CIA agent and helped Trump win in 2024 with the help of Patrick Byrne and Elon Musk. Okay? Let's get into this. I'm not saying we should believe this. This picked up a lot of steam on X, so we're going to cover it, talk about it, and we'll see where this goes. So here we go. And because she blocked me, guys, I can't. The thread starts from 1 and will go up, okay? This is how we have to do it. A few weeks before the 2024 election, Senator Mullen and former Senator David Perdue finally arranged a meeting between Trump advisor Susie Wiles and the one man who could explain exactly how America's election systems are rigged. The meeting took place at Mar-a-Lago. Susie Wiles had publicly said that the election fraud was not real and that people who thought so were crazy. After the briefing, she didn't know what to think. She asked for a piece of cake. She ate it slowly. Then she made the decision Trump's team should be briefed too. In the end, the man stayed at Mar-a-Lago for 3 days to brief everyone. There was only man who Wiles trusted to confirm it all, and this was supposedly Elon Musk. A call was made. The man found himself in a room with Musk. Musk declined to sit through the full briefing. He said, "Just give me your data." So Elon Musk read the AI summary of the technical data, and then he picked up his phone and made a call. "We have a problem. It's true." Then Musk got on a plane to host a Trump rally in PA. It was October 17th, 2024. Musk got on stage and attacked Dominion. Elon Musk said at the rally, quote, "There's always the question of Dominion voting machines. It's weird they're used in Philadelphia and Maricopa County, but not in a lot of other places. Doesn't that seem like a hell of a coincidence? Musk was warning us the system was rigged." And here's Patrick Byrne saying, "Oh, Emerald is breaking the story at last," as if this was like something they held back forever. I don't trust Patrick Byrne. I know he's helping Tina Peters, but outside of that, I don't trust him at all. How could the 2024 steal be stopped a few weeks before the election? The man who briefed Musk had a team, and that team was Patrick Byrne and Gary Bernstein. This team had recruited a dozen people who knew how the rigged system was built in Venezuela. They had worked for Smartmatic and Maduro. This group of whistleblowers were hiding in a hotel in Gstaad, Switzerland, before the 2024 election. That's where General Flynn flew to see them. Flynn asked, "How long has election fraud been going on?" They said Venezuela now rigs their elections in 72 countries for the last 20 years. The whistleblowers from Venezuela had video meetings with Musk's team and Trump's team to explain the technical details of the election fraud. The most important detail, the Dominion IP addresses have been located. All it cost was $15 in Bitcoin from an anonymous Japanese account. The relevant data and IP addresses were now verified. That's when Senator Mullen came to the rescue. Again, his cybersecurity team got the data. 3 days before the 2024 election, the Dominion office in Serbia was hit. Their computers were useless. So they got this data. They figured out how they were doing it. And supposedly some CIA mumbo jumbo got involved here and took out their Dominion office in Serbia, which ultimately they're saying helped Trump win this election. On election day, nobody knew if the cybersecurity team had been successful knocking out the Serbian computers. Everybody at Mar-a-Lago had to wait for the results without certainty. The man who had briefed Musk flew to Oslo that day. His team would flee the U.S. if they failed. Imagine the moment on election day, Trump had no idea if he would win. So Patrick Byrne watched results from Qatar. Gary Bernstein watched from Switzerland. And all of them would be hunted down if the 2024 election fraud was successful and the USA would be finished. Trump was upset with his own staff after Musk verified the fraud was real. He'd been gaslit for 4 years by his team to drop the topic. In fact, his staff hired a Cuban intelligence asset in 2020 to investigate the fraud, to lie to Trump that our elections were fair. That's the thing about Trump. He always hired the wrong people. His own advisors had tried to keep Trump from meeting with the team that saved the 2024 election. People like Boris EP, Chris LaCivita had blocked the truth at every turn. I am posting tweets one at a time so that X cannot hide to boost the entire thread. My sources, the team that saved the 2024 election. My proof, Venezuela is now surrounded by American warships. So this is why I'm saying, guys, I don't trust anyone with anonymous sources. I don't trust fucking Candace with anonymous sources. I'm not completely buying all this shit from Emma Robinson because, again, anonymous sources. And there's a lot of ties here and some stretches here that we can look at. And we can all say, yeah, Trump is surrounding Venezuela. There's warships out there. Absolutely. Is this all about drugs? Is this all just about Maduro? Is this possibly something that Trump knows he's not going to be able to get done here in the homeland with Congress and voting, getting voter ID, the fraudulent machines? Could you just use the military to go directly to the source of the country that's carrying out the operations. Is that a possibility? Maybe. That's what they're hinting at. She said, let's call the team that saved the 2024 election the Three Musketeers. That's the man who briefed Musk and Gary Bernstein and Byrne. I've now interviewed them many times along with Smartmatic whistleblowers from Venezuela, confirmed key facts with ODNI. Here's where the story gets really wild. The Three Musketeers were also the ones who warned Trump about the election fraud after the 2020 election. Where do you think Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani got their information about Smartmatic? And Judge Neem got them connected. So Trump had good intel about the fraud 2 days after 2020 election, but then Trump called in Kushner to gather a legal team to handle it all. Kushner's team was briefed next, but they dismissed the intel and did nothing. Rudy and Sidney were hung out to dry with no help. Pretty hefty accusations here, guys. So let's return to 2024. Trump has won. It's Christmas. The whistleblowers from Venezuela are moved from Gstaad to the Bahamas on tourist visas to protect them. They're being hunted by the cartel. They need to get into the USA to testify and bring down their rigged voting machines. It's now February of this year. Time is now up. With their visas expired, the whistleblowers will be sent back to Venezuela and killed. So Patrick Byrne got a catamaran out of Florida and sailed in the worst storm possible to the Bahamas in order to smuggle them all illegally into the USA. I don't know if that's something you'd want to put out for the world to have there. Why is this happening? After all, Trump's now back in office. The most important whistleblowers in American history are stranded because Team Trump does not have its act together again. Finally, Tom Homan saves the day and sends 2 guys from D.C. to bring them all into the U.S. So basically, guys,